minutes something on. Not including I can see the number of people watching. No one's zero. Hey, welcome. Um, about to start my comic book reviews. I have a bunch of comic books here I brought from the US to the Philippines. I hope you like. If you like, please just like, share, and subscribe. Excuse my speech. I had a stroke a few years ago, and you left already. How about now?
Don't mind it. Just, you're doing good. Just keep talking. That's for future viewers.
Oh, okay. Edit that out. At least you throw up a like.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, how you doing? I'm just about to start my review on my comics from the U.S. I have quite a bit here. Excuse my speech. I had a stroke a few years ago. So, what's your name? Hey, how you doing? I'm just starting my review. All right, we'll start with Deadpool first. I'm starting with Deadpool because he is probably one of the hottest Marvel books right now. Deadpool, X-Men, Fantastic Four. So this I have number one. Not the first one. The first one started back a long time ago. The first one's I want to say the 80s or something. But this is the number one that I have. It's still hard to get. Number one. My other Deadpool. This actually jumped up in price really fast. I bought it a few months ago, and it went from, if it's considered a 9.8, which is a very good condition, it's $52. If it's a 9.8, I think it's close to that, if not that. And now, from my understanding, they changed the grades. They actually go up to 10 again now, because it used to be 10 would be the highest you can get. Then they dropped it down to 9.8. Now it's back to 10. And once again, excuse my speech if you just arrived. I had a stroke a few years ago. Hi, Ella. How are you? Ella Bell. This not Deadpool. And just to let you know, almost not all, but almost all the books that I have are all number one. So this is number one. And it's a Saturday Morning Finds. And this is the #1 edition. Because it's funny how the comic books work. I guess they realized that every time you release a #1, the sales go up. So they always try to start a new X-Men, the Amazing X-Men, the Uncanny X-Men, stuff like that. So we're gonna jump. Well, let's jump just to my random books that I have. So I just mentioned X-Men. So this is Uncanny X-Men. This is the 350th issue. It has Gambit on the cover. X-Men and Wildcats, and I'll be doing a lot of Wildcats in just a second because Wildcats was drawn back then with books that I have with a guy named Jim Lee, who was very popular. Oh, if they're a 9.6, this is worth like $60. This X-Men is, if it's 9.6, $95. This Deadpool is worth like $110 if it's 9.6. I probably try to grade all my books at 9.6 because I don't want to excite myself because a lot of these books are like really, really good. Like the condition I keep them in, like this is like the hard. This is Wildcats, but I was gonna pull up later. But this has a certificate of authenticity. Have a card that comes with it, the collector's card. I don't even know if they make that for comic books anymore. I haven't seen one in a long time. Can you hear me, Ella?
Oh, you have a chatter. Hi, Dia.
Hi, Heidi. How are you? I'm gonna come back to my Wildcat, so okay. I have the Marvels here. And if this were a 9.6, it's $65. And I got the pricing from GoCollect.com. So if you have comic books, you can go to GoCollect.com and possibly get your pricing. It depends. It depends on if they have it listed.
What's your name, Deb?
The New Mutants, number one, no, number 100.
You are so good, Deb. You are so good. Say thank you.
Thank you, Heidi A. Heidi A. And once again, excuse my speech, I had a stroke a few years ago, so I talk kind of weird. Now, if this were at least a 9.0, which is very low, it's like, oh my gosh, $44. Now I'm gonna get into some of the books that are like friends or enemies of the heroes. This is Sabretooth, if you ever heard of him. A very popular villain. Been around for a long time. If this is 9.6, it's worth 22. I think that's wrong, because he's real popular, but that's what I put down. Rogue is part of the X-Men. I love Rogue. She's really good. her powers are, if she touches any hero, she absorbs their power, absorbs their energy, their power, their memory. So she's not to be played with. Now, question. What's up? Question. If you had a superpower, what would it be? Please write it down. I can hear you, Haya. I can see. I can see. I can read your writing.
Are you talking to me or Alan?
This is 40 US dollars if it's a 9.6. I write all the pricing and stuff right there. And the year of the comic is 94. 94. If it's 9.6, it's $48. Once again, part of the X-Men. Bishop. It's funny that I look at the other side and I can actually see it on screen who I'm holding. If this were a 9.6, it's 54. This is easy in 9.6. That's Bishop number 1. This is Bishop number 2. Number 2 ever made. Now, another part of the X-Men who's kind of like a time traveler. His name is Cable. This book means a lot to me because it's signed. You can kind of see it here in gold, and the name of the person that signed it is Art. What's his name? Art Thibert. And here's a certificate of authenticity.
Can I borrow your Motorola? Thank you. Commercial.
Like the certificate of authenticity. He signed the certificate also. Most of the books I have signed I have certificates of authenticity. Most. But this doesn't have one. This is Sabretooth. But what they did was they have, I guess, 10,000 that were signed, and this is number God. $8,102. Oh, thank you. Do you like comics? Oh, that's... Now, this is the book I feel... I want to say bad words, but I'm trying to refrain myself because I can say a lot of bad words. But this was signed by Stan Lee. Okay, this is my certificate of authenticity of a book I've never heard of, so I know you haven't. But yeah, a book that never did well. But I have Stan Lee's autograph on it right here. Now, here's why I'm hurt. When I first got here, I bought these covers right here, and I wanted to put some of my good books in those. And while I was pulling this book out of its original case, I had a similar case, but I fitted real tight. I put like 2 baking boards in back of the magazine. So say for example, I have this magazine. There's a backing board on it. It was real tight, and I pulled it out instead of cutting it out. I I kind of ripped it, so I'm actually hurt by it. Oh well. Let's see what else. Marvel and DC. This is actually pretty interesting. At 9.6, it's worth $40. It's not bad. No autograph or anything. It's nice. The Hulk versus Superman. Who do you think will win? The Hulk and Superman. Let me know. Who do you think will win? Image Comics. Once again, I'm gonna get back to the artist later because I have some stuff about him that I can tell you. At 9.6, it's $34. Death Blow. Eggman, yeah, Hellfire in Hong Kong. This is Wolverine, 25th issue. So when he went solo, you know, he has his own series. This is his 25th one. I have the original price now. Back then I paid $8.95 for it. $8.95. Back in 19. Hold on, I'll pull it up for you. And now it's worth, at 9.6, it's worth 80. So $8.95 to $80. Not bad, right? It's a Wolverine number 25. Oh, I'm sorry. 145. This is Wolverine 145. It's the 25th year anniversary. But it's number 145. And Go Collect actually shows you how many are available that people are selling on through their site, and how many books are graded at that grading. Like if it's a 8.0 or 9.5 or whatever, 9.7, it tells you that there's 10 available, 50 available, 200 available, stuff like that. So this book came out in November 30th, 1999. It gives you It gives you the list of the artists that worked on the book, the editors, the writers, publication date, and how much what's the cover price. So the cover price was $3.99, but I bought it at 9.6, probably because it's Wolverine. And I was living in LA at the time, so I used to have to go to Hollywood in LA to buy books, and they were more expensive. Oh well. So this is the X-Men with it's called a hologram. And I don't know if you can see it, but can you see the picture? It is a picture of Gambit throwing like cards out like this, throwing cards, because his cards explode. I don't know if you can see it. The X-Men also. This is Magneto. Peanut. It looks like Magneto. Peanut rocks or something. Rocks with metal in it. I don't know. If it's a rock with a little metal on, it'll lift the whole rock. You know, I don't know if you guys knew that Phoenix, if you know who Phoenix is, she became probably the greatest X-Men ever, but she got killed. But anyway, Phoenix and Cyclops had a relationship. So there were 4 books in there about their relationship. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it basically tells you about the relationship. Then you'll learn more about damn, what the hell is his name? Anyway, another hero that they help raise at the Xavier School of the Gifted. Once again, excuse my speech. I had a stroke a few years ago, so I just wanted to redo this. I actually did this before. I wanted to redo it and try to explain more, put a little more detail. I'm doing a terrible job because I feel like I am. Domino. And she's one of my favorite chicks in Marvel. And, this is 1, and this is 2. Number 1, if it's a 9.8, it's worth $125. I think that's close to it, at least a 9.6. But if it's a 9.8, it's worth $125. And if this is at least a 9.4, it's worth $74. X-Men Prime. Well, I actually have to open this up and show it to you. The reason why I have to show this is you really can't appreciate this book unless you see it like this. I don't know if you can see them. It's like a plastic see-through cover. Front and back. Put it right back into the case, to the plastic, and put it in there properly. In my opinion, pull the cardboard backing out first, and put this on top, and then push it in. It's easier, to me. If you have a better way, send me a message and let me know a better way. And I keep a lot of older teams, older heroes, because you never know. I'll tell you why later. But I have a surprise for you. I'll tell you why though. One, I guess, villain group I kept was the Abominations. Not the Abomination, which is one person. The Abominations. Not worth much right now, but number one is number one. 9.6 is worth. It's worth $28. Like I said, not worth much now, but if you never know. They might release a super villain team. You never know. You know what this is? It's the Tomb Raider, Lara Croft. 9.6 is worth $110. Like I said, I go collect and write the pricing down that they have available. And this has a certificate of authenticity because it was drawn by Andy Park and he autographed it. I got in Hollywood, California, at a place called the Golden Apple. I'm sorry. This here I got at Jeffrey's Comics on Crenshaw. Jeffrey's Comics. I'm sorry, Jeffrey's Comics. Sorry, Jeffrey. This is her. And it's a certificate of authenticity. Let's see what else they have. Anniversary issue of the X-Men with Rogue, the main character on top. Rogue and I just said his name. Once again, excuse me because my memory is kind of bad and my speech is kind of bad, but I'm living. Rogue and Gambit. I don't know if you remember a TV show called The X-Files. This is one of the most popular, if not of its time, it's probably the most popular sci-fi of its time. This is the Comic Digest, number one. I seen it on eBay, and on eBay I seen it as high as $120. Like I said, I keep old books because you never know. Marvel might go back in the archives and say, hey, let's try this. Let's try this character, this hero. I'll tell you why in a few, towards the end though. At 9.2, this is a guy named Machine Man. He's worth 38. The 9.2 is very, very low, and I kept phenomenal care of these books. Most of them, except for except for my most prized possession. I can't believe I did that. It didn't make me cry. So I can't believe I tore a Stan Lee autograph book. Damn. If you meet me in the Philippines, you can hit me on the back of the head. You can Benny Hill me. Have you heard of Benny Hill? Now you heard me mention Rob Liefeld. So this is one of his older books, Youngbloods. I could have swore I had more of them, but for some reason I only brought like one of the magazines here to the Philippines. I know I had some more. I was in a rush when I left. So one thing about this comic book, and this is double-sided, so this is the cover that they show, but if you flip it over, that's another cover. And he signed both sides. Here. Here. I told you this is how I like doing it. Pull out the backing board first. Then put the book in. It goes in much smoother. I don't know why. It seems easier. Heroes for Hire. Once again, it's a 97 book, number one. If this is a 9.6, which shouldn't be a problem, if not, I'll be damn close. It'll be $95. You see it's on there, it's like Master of Kung Fu, Power Man, Hulk. That's a nice team. Did I show this already? Una Marvel. I like the artist. She has like a different style of drawing. She's like draws hi. I cherish. How are you?
This Michelle.
Excuse the way I talk. I had a stroke a few years ago, so I talk kind of weird. This is Winter Marvel. Number one. Generation X. I want to pick this up in Hollywood, but it doesn't have authentication, so I'm not sure if it's the actual signature. You can send it in to CDC.com, CGC.com, and they can actually find out if it's authenticated or not. Or, they'll approve it or disapprove, not approve it. So I have two of them. This is a Wolverine cover, but it's kind of like a hologram. And you can see him through the. Can you let me know if you can see him? Yes, I brought comic books with me from the U.S. Yes, ma'am. I don't know if you're just seeing the glare, or can you actually see? Can you see the can you see him in there? This Spider-Man and Hobgoblin. I don't know why I keep looking like this because I can see it. I can see it on screen. This is Spider-Man and the Hobgoblin. If this is a 9.8, it's worth $75. That's one of his all-time villains, like his enemies back in the 70s, 80s. If it's a 9.8, it's worth $75. These are two books that I love. I love the color. I think it's called Chromium. So these Chromium books are real nice. X-Men Alpha and Omega. Alpha and Omega. Alpha and Omega. So this is Alpha.
Cherish is a question. Did you answer it? Cherish. Did you answer it?
I answered already.
Oh.
Yes, I brought them with me to the Philippines. Probably my most prized possessions. Next to some jewelry and cologne. If this is 9.6, and both of these are 95 books. If this is 9.6, it's worth $43. Now what's funny is I almost didn't bring them because I originally bought these books for my son. I asked him if he wanted them. He said no. So they're here with me in the Philippines. Daddy loves you. Daddy gonna bring you everywhere. Now the one I have, the Wolverine when it goes to Hong Kong, I might bring it with me when I go to Hong Kong later on this year. Anniversary special. I probably have more X-Men than anything. I love the team. X-Men. Iceman and White Queen. X-Men against Gladiator. X-Men against Onslaught. The Age of Apocalypse. Now, Apocalypse, out of all the villains, that is my favorite. Because of the story, him starting off and knowing like, people shame him because of his color, his skin, and stuff like that. But I like him because he's the one who took care of Storm when she was a little girl. All you have to do is watch the movie, X-Men movie, and it tells you the story of Apocalypse. But I didn't like the movie. I like him, but I didn't like the movie. I have some other books like Jin. Like I said, you never know because you know she might 20 years from now, it might become a hit, and she is. Yeah, that's what happened, Chai. Jin. Maybe I got this because of the cover. Fantastic Four: The Legend, Human Torch, Mr. Fantastic, Mrs. Fantastic, The Thing. At 9.4, it's worth like $49, and that's low. I think I at least do 9.6. A team called Gen X. Oh, I'm sorry, Gen 13. Supreme. This is a variant cover for Supreme. He's on Image Comics. Certificate of Authenticity. Oh, I forget to show you guys that on the back of some of the books I have certificates of authenticity. Silver Surfer and Weapon X. Do you know who the Punisher is? Probably one of the best hitmen on Marvel. What's your most expensive comic? I haven't got to it yet. Well, honestly, I showed it to you already. This is what I think because I have Stan Lee's autograph on it. Should be around here somewhere. But I showed earlier. Yeah, Stan Lee's autograph. That might be the most expensive because it's of Stan Lee, and he passed away already. So, unfortunately, so Excelsior to him. That's a word that Stan Lee used to always say. Excelsior. I brought to the Philippines some other books other than comics. I bought like two ESPN books, two of the same book. The Death of Kobe Bryant. Because I know Filipinos love the Lakers. And they love Kobe. So it's true to him. But I'll show you some comic books. I'm about to show you some comic books soon on what I hope will get expensive. Because I've been holding them on my own for like 30 years. 25 years at least. 30 years. I collect stuff. Like I said, all the number ones I'll pick up, especially if it has a nice cover. Avengers Assemble. I don't know if you've heard that in comics. Kazar, he's old school. caveman. um, I got this because it's Marvel and Disney. Mickey Mouse is like Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and show you. I bought it and put it away. That's what I do with most of the books. Profit and Cable. Onslaught again. DC Comics. The Justice League. That's old school. I remember they used to have a cartoon called the Justice League. You know, I bought this for $4. Now it's worth $28. A few months back, not too long ago, but you know, maybe probably no more than 5 months. It's cool. Iron Fist, and honestly, they've released so many Iron Fists. Conan the Barbarian. This one's doing okay though. If it's a 9.6, it's worth $40. It's to invest in comic books. It's actually not bad if you can hold it and leave it alone. The Inhumans used to be one of my favorite teams. What's up, Kaiju Life? Inhumans. And that's number one of this particular, this series. This is number one. Inhumans also. She and the Daredevil. Believe it or not, I got this solely on the cover, not knowing if this is a 9.8, it's worth $100 now. Worth $100. It looks like a 9. At least 9.6. This is a DC and Marvel team up. Green Lantern and Silver Surfer. If this is a 9.8, it's worth $300. This is something it's kind of like a rare comic. And once again, if you want to check it out, pull up GoCollect.com and pull up Green Lantern, Silver Surfer. It'll tell you the price. This is something you don't find this kind of stuff. I get that comic in my collection. Cool. Pull your comics out and let's do a video together. Guardians of the Galaxy number 4. I need to get another one because I actually tore this one too. Stupid. Number 4. So out of all the comics, I tore 2 of them. The number 1 I tore was a damn Stan Lee autograph. It's cool. Somebody want it. Venom. If this is at least a 9.6, oh, I'm sorry, Venom and Punisher. If this is at least 9.6, it's worth $42. Magneto number 1 and 2. And 3. Oh. The price for these, if it's at least a 5.6, $50 for one. I'm sorry, a 5.9. $50 for one, 9.6, $39, 9.6, $50. Ooh. This is Cyclops and Phoenix again, but this gets into this is the origin of Sinister. Spider-Man and the Hobgoblin. If this were a 9.8, I say it's around 9.6, but it's in very good condition. No bends. Probably very light. I can press it out. If it's at least if it's a 9.6, it'll be worth around. Well, at 9.8, it's saying it's like $99. Once again, excuse my speech. Sometimes I had a stroke, so I talk kind of weird. Everybody, I talk kind of weird. A hero called Evangeline. And a long time ago, they used to have a magazine called Wizard that was a comic book that was a book that actually priced comic books. And, you know, I used to subscribe to it actually. And with the subscription, there are offers like, hey, would you like to buy this? So I have a lot of books from Wizard. Evangeline, I had some I'm forgetting to sometimes show it. This is Gambit number 1. I don't know why I have them over here. Over here. This is a book that's worth a pretty penny. If it's a 9.8, I don't think it's that good though. It's 9.6, but if it were a 9.8, it'll bring in $200. Like I said, you can go to gocollect.com. Just type in the comic book, the comic book, and what issue it is like number 4, number 3, number 1, and it'll give you the pricing there. The average pricing for whatever grade it is. You'll see. And this is the X-Men. This is the number 1 for this particular. Now, just after this, I'll look for there's a 4-part book series of this X-Men. That's it's like a big mural. Like one picture goes into another picture. You'll see in just a second. So that's X-Men. And let me find that wheel I'm talking about. I should put that up front. Here, I got it. Try. Would you mind leaving this out for me? I'll have my assistant. I'll have my assistant lay them out the way it's supposed to look.
Am I doing it right? Which one? Hold on. This one is this one. Yeah, right.
No,
Yes.
face them towards me.
Ah.
So this is a rarity. You might see one of these boosters, but it takes a little time to find all four. I'm sure they mass produce it, so you can find it. It's just kind of hard to find. Because I've seen them around, especially Magneto.
Could it be a camera? No. Okay. Start talking.
Get. I need it good.
Yes.
All four. Flip on. So you see that? It's like a mule. But yeah, you have to have all four books. It's Hamilton. They're all number ones. Number one. Number one. One. They're all number ones. So you have to have all four of the same. Back then you had to buy it like in the same month, unless you can find it. Yeah, I've still seen them around, so they're still around. You have to find them. I haven't even got to my good stuff yet. Well, I did show you one good one because I love my Stan Lee autograph. But like I said, I'm kind of pissed off at myself. I feel like crying because I tore it. It was a mistake. Captain America, the Legend. 9.5, it'd be worth $50. Another, this is the pre to the other two. The epilogue to the other two. So this is Hulk versus Pete. Pitt is from Image Comics. He's probably their he's their version of the Hulk. If this were a 9.6, which I'm sure it is, it's worth at least $42. And honestly, that's nothing compared to like some of these old school collectors that are like going back from the 60s and 50s. Some of these guys have comics that are into the thousands, which I hope a couple of these go into. I'll show you. You gotta stick around and see. X-Men. It's like anniversary edition. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a special edition. A special edition anniversary issue. X-Men. Justice League by one of my favorite all-time artists, Jim Lee. If I can ever catch him at a comic book convention here in the Philippines, that's one of the books I would have him sign. I have about 5 I'd have him sign, but that's one of them. Spider-Gwen number 1. Number 1. Not one of the great pictures. Covers of Spider-Gwen. They actually have some nice art of Spider-Gwen. They're a little more adult. They're not for kids. Not like this, but it's it's sexy. Probably more on Tomb Raider. Once again, I was collecting a lot of magazines for Wizards Comics. This is a Wizard offering. I got 2 of them. I got one on both sides. There. X-Wing Rogue Squadron. The price, if it's a 9.8, it's worth $69. Hold on, please. Okay. Are you into hip hop? If you like rap music, hip hop, Wu-Tang, the Wu-Tang Clan, try to come out with a book. It's hard. Oh, you know Spider-Man? I like Spider-Man too. I'll show you some more. Don't worry. Wu-Tang. I want to say it's, one of them is a concert issue. I don't know which one, but one of the greatest group. I want to say in the 90s. Yeah, I showed my Spider-Man already. One was the Green Goblin. One is on a cover of Marvel. Wolverine. with a hologram. The Beast, part of the X-Men. Spider-Man dressed up like Dazzler. He's actually upside down. You know how he hangs upside, so he's upside down here. Now, this is a team I'm giving much props right now because they're from Canada. Alpha Flight, the original number one. Then they kind of like, it was kind of like Heroes Born Again. It's not that, but it's them again, the number one again. The new version. Venom on trial. X-Men. This is Aquaman, not Aquaman. But I kind of just got it and it jumped. Pull up on Go Collect. A 9.8 is worth like $200. And it literally just came out. And it's been just wrapped up here, collecting dust, waiting. Heck, I mean, Aquaman. I don't know if it's, I didn't even open it, so I don't know if it's his son or his brother or cousin. I don't know. I have no idea. I even got to my primary box. X-Men Unlimited #1. Iron Man the Legend. If I'm not reading the pricing of what I think it is or what I know it is, it's because I don't have it. Because sometimes it takes a while to find it. I have to put in the right words and stuff like that, and everything. It has to be written perfectly. You type it in. Juggernaut in his own book. He's bad, but I think he's funny too. So, Justice League of America. Yeah, when they came out again, if it's a 9.8, it's worth $59. Now, CDC. Was it CDC? Anyway, if you pull them up, a lot of people don't like actually using the appraisals or don't like buying books for people who appraise. Unless you plan on just buying the book and just keeping it in plastic, because keeping it encapsulated. Because once you buy it and get it encapsulated, you can never open it. You can never read it. You have to just keep it encapsulated. So that's my reason why I don't like it. Because sometimes I like to look at it. This is Robin. At 9.8, which I'm sure they'll try to find something. It looks like a perfect book, but you know I'm sure they'll find something. So let's say 9.6. It's worth 75. Dark Minds. And I have books that you never heard of. I say that because I never heard of them. Dark Knight 3. At 9.6 is worth $30. A book called U.S. One book is this is X-Men and Clandestine. Ultra Force, and for Champion Child it's Spider-Man. The Mutants versus the Ultras. Earlier, I showed you guys the Hulk versus Pitt. So, Pitt is on Image Magazine. This is his first book. I actually have two of them. Two number ones. Number 2. This is one of those wizard books I got in the mail. Deviate. Another wizard book, a guy named Ash. Actually, he's doing all right. At 9.6, he's worth $59. Not bad, Ash. And shit, I mean, if you get over $20, I'm happy. X-Men. X-Men and Clandestine again. The Elementals. Now let's get to the good stuff. You ready? Getting to the good stuff right now. I picked these up because of Jim Lee. Like I said, he's one of the baddest dudes. Jim Lee. Pull him up if you don't know who he is. Jimlee. If this were a 9.8, it's worth 112. Wildcats. This is a variant cover. If this were a 9.8, it's worth 69. Just to let you know, I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here is, oh, and 0. I don't know why they do that. 0 Wildcats. Jim Lee, it's Jim Lee. Oh, as a matter of fact, I don't think Jim Lee was on this one. That was one I was like, wow. I want to say since the 80s. Since the mid 80s. Cheryl says, how long have you been collecting comic books? Since the mid 80s. Wildcats number 2. Wildcats number 3 or 4. Number 3. Here's one of my favorite books. It's called The Ash Can. It's Jim Lee signed. Out of 5,000 books, this is like 190. This is number 190 out of 5,000. Jim Lee signed. Still sealed, never been opened. I just put it in here. This is probably the second thing I put in. So that's a Wildcats ash can. I think the Wildcats, I'm sorry, I think the ash cans were used as, when people buy comic books, they just want to put them away. So they put them away and they made ash cans so they can just, they were like throwaways. You just flip through it, read it, and you know the book. And got rid of it. So that's number 1, right? Jim Lee. Wildcats number 1. Certificate of authenticity with his signature on it, with a trading card. A Wildcats trade. Do they still make those trade cards for comic books? And like everybody, excuse the way I talk because I did have a stroke a couple of years ago, so I talk kind of weird. So I don't even think they make these anymore. Are you familiar with Spawn? Spawn of his time. Spawn was one of the great artists of his time. I know he did some other stuff besides Spawn. So Todd McFarlane, I know he did some other stuff besides Spawn. I can't remember what it is though. Anyway, number 1. Number 1. 2 number 1s. And if they are 9.6, I got them down at $80. That's how much Go Collect shows what it's worth. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. And this is the popular one. Number 9. I forgot her name. I think it's her. Number 10. Number 11. It broke my heart. The movie didn't do as well as I thought it would. Well, honestly, I didn't think it was too good. But as soon as I seen it, I was like, damn, that was trash. But I want to do well because if the movie does well, the books do well. They sell. People want to get number 1. They want to get, and I have a bunch of them. So hopefully they come back and do it again. This is the Curse of the Spawn 1 and 2. 1 and 2. I heard this is my favorite villain, Apocalypse. I like his story. I like that he met Aurora Storm when she was young, took care of her. You know, actually the Fantastic Four could have took him out back during ancient Egypt, because he was like one of the original heroes. Because his origin started in ancient Egypt. Apocalypse number 1. This is a story. The Rise of number 1. And if that were 90.6, it's worth like $72. Not too bad. Number 2. Number 3. It's a 4-book series. Number 4. Now, collecting comic books is actually a good idea, but you have to pick the right ones to get. So just, the easiest way to do it, in my opinion, get the ones that are already doing well, moving up. Because if it's moving up now, after a year or two, they'll move up 20 years now, more than likely. Or pick the ones that have movies coming out, or that came out. Pick the ones that are, that are hot. That's all I did. So most of my comic books are worth something. Most, like 90-some% of them are worth way more than double of what I purchased them for. Double up to 10, 20, 30 times more. So it depends on what you get. Like, for example, a few months ago, before I came to the Philippines, I got, it was Pride Month in the U.S. So I got DC Pride. If this is a 90, this is a few months ago. If this were a 9.8, it was $65 on eBay, being sold on eBay. If it's 9.6, 36 for sure. On the website. If this were a 9.0, it's worth 30. And I purchased it for $9.99. Thank you, assistant. My assistant had me some calamansi juice. Do you know what that is? Calamansi juice.
Ta-da.
My assistant is showing all the color messages. Can I have some ice, please? Okay, it's almost over. So that was DC. Marvel count with that one too. And this is Destiny and Mystique. As soon as I got them, I put them straight in the package, so I never even read it. So I don't know what this is. Can you tell me? Can someone tell me? Who's green in DC? A green female in DC. I don't know. Thank you, ma'am. JSL. I mean JSA. Justice Society of America. X-Men and Apocalypse. So, we're getting into the good stuff. The Fantastic Four. I have 1 through 6, but there's a bonus one for you guys. 1 through 6. Six. Five. 4. Another 4. One is a variant cover. I don't know why they put a Christmas looking picture on here. If someone knows, tell me. Send me a message, please. Because they have this is for February, but it's still a Christmas picture. Are they in the Philippines or something? Because Philippines celebrates Christmas from September until like February. So you never know. Three. 2. 1. I don't know why I collected so many Fantastic Fours. I'm not a big. I like them, but oh my gosh. These are 2 Avengers #1. You can see #1 right here. the other number one. Captain America. Number one. And this group of heroes, they're part of the Heroes Reborn. So they kind of like, from my understanding, they started the whole stories all over again. Heroes Reborn. Captain number one. And I jump from 1 to 25. This is Captain number 25. With a different artist. You can tell by the way they draw the face that Rob Liefeld drew the first two, and this guy, I don't know who this is. Different artist. Now, we're at Iron Man. Iron Man number one. Now, remember this Iron Man. Iron Man number one. I think this is the variant. But remember this Iron Man. Okay? I'll be right back with that. Iron Man number one also. Iron Man number two. Number three. Number four. Number five. Oh my gosh. Now let's go to another hero. My favorite woman from the X-Men, from Marvel, period. Aurora Monroe. Better known as Storm. Number one, her first book. And this, at 9.6, this is worth 110. And you can pull it up on GoCollect.com. Number two. Number three. Number four. Now, if you guys have been watching the Marvel movies, you know they've been having issues. Actually, the issues started in the comic books and they brought it into the movies. They called it Civil War. Number one. Number two. And a lot of the major characters in the movie, well, in the books had their own series of comic books. That was too much to collect for me. That's a lot of, back then I was a lot of, I had to go to Hollywood or go to in Gardena. So that's too much. the opening shot. That's the sketchbook. So basically, I have like pictures of all the different heroes and stuff. And this is when Captain America got killed. It was a female hitman, female sniper to pick him off. Can't remember her name. Excalibur, the Stanley autograph. But the thing is, I don't know if the autograph is real. There's 2 books I need to send in. It's authenticated, but they charge it quite a bit, so no rush. And that's Excalibur Phoenix. So about the teams that got brought back to life, not back to life, but they redid their series called Heroes Reborn. So Marvel did one, and so did Wizard. Wizard is worth the most out of the 2, and the certificate of authenticity. I think because Wizard was a hot magazine back then, a pricing magazine, and it ended. So it's, people want it because at 9.6 this is worth 75. At 9.6 it's worth 35. 75, 35. 75 Wizard, 35 Marvel. Now, here's the question I got earlier. What comic book do I think is worth the most? It might be one of these 3. And they're not worth much, but they're worth a lot to me. Iron Man at 9.6. I think this is gonna grow and grow and grow and grow forever, because this is a gold, a 22 karat gold stamped autograph of this certificate is to certify that the edition of Iron Man #1 is an authentic, oh my gosh, authentic 100th edition of the original, reproduction of the original comic book, and so printed with 22 hand gold stamped signatures. So this is a Marvel seal, a Marvel Iron Man seal. It tells you it's never been touched out of the real. So this is a book inside of the book. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't seal it. It's cool. But after I got it, I put it in one of these. So it's forever good. Forever. So with that, I also had Avengers. Same thing. And this at a 9.2 grading is 230. This is probably a 9.0. I'm sorry, a 9.8 at least. Like I said, I haven't moved it or anything since, so I'm sure it's perfect. And I paid for this back then, $39.95. That's the original pricing from Golden What was it? It's from Jeffries. Jeffries. Jeffries Comics. Can you see it? This one's not shut, so. Back then, I paid $39, like on $40 almost. And Fantastic Four. Same thing, but for them they have a 4 instead of A, and what else? Iron Man has an eye. It has a piece of Iron Man on his, and on Fantastic Four. I'm sorry, yeah, Fantastic Four has a 4. And once again, the stamping is in 22 karat gold. How often do you see? Have you ever seen that on any comic book? Just like that X-Men #1 that was amazing. Or anyway, you don't see that anymore. I've never seen it again. 4 books that make one cover. I don't know if you know this, but Superman had died. Or Superman got killed or something. You know, he got his suit ripped off of him. They gave him a new suit. This is a new suit. Certificate of authenticity. Autographs with Stan Jurgensen, Dan Jurgensen, and Joe Rubenstein. This is 1046, 1046 out of how many? Out of 8,500. All right here. Signatures right here. You know, once again, I don't just collect the better books. I collect a little of everything, and one thing, I collect super soldiers too. So, just before Superman lost his suit, This is the last comic before he lost the suit. That's why I got this one. Just before he lost the suit. Who's this one? This one, Superman died. Superman died. I was kidding. And this is the book without the autograph. New suit without the autograph. This is still worth a lot. 9.6 is $79. I didn't put the pricing down for this one because sometimes, depending on the collector, this could be worth into the hundreds. I'm sure. The Wedding album, Superman and Lois Lane. Because they mass produced this, it's not worth a whole lot. Even at 9.4, it's only worth 34. It's still not bad, but it's not a lot. Justice League of America redone. At 9.6 is worth $34. The Avengers. Right now it's not worth too much. 9.6 worth $22. But the artist, hopefully I'll be able to see him one day. Stanley Artgerm Lau. He's coming to the Philippines for the comic convention here, so I'm gonna try to get his autograph. More than likely, I have to pay because I know. Probably, as far as comic books, it's one of the big, the second biggest mistake in my life, other than tearing the Stanley comic book. Other than tearing the Stanley comic book, Jim Lee came to Houston. I was there at the time, but I was coming to the Philippines like a couple of weeks later, so I didn't want to spend any money because it cost to get into the show. It cost the autographs for Jim Lee in Houston was $60 autograph per autograph, so that's too much. So I had to skip it. Oh, I was talking about how. I'm going to show this real quick. This Justice League of America. I have Superman in his new suit here. Which they took the suit back and gave back his old one. Whatever. I was talking about how I like keeping old comics. You never know. I've been keeping these two comic books for probably 30 years. As a matter of fact, I can't believe I didn't do that. For 30 years. And they're finally about to come out with a book. It's called The Thunderbolts. I have number 1. And The Thunderbolts is supposed to be the best book this year. So, honestly, I just witnessed it go up like 60, 70 bucks. last time I checked, it was like 20 some dollars. And then I checked again, it was close to 100. I was like, damn. So, you know, I kept this for a reason. This is the first appearance. So, although this the first issue of their book, they actually showed up in the on the Hulk number 449 first, introducing that, and it went from like the 20s. Shit, I say shit, it actually jumped up to like 130, if it's a 9.6. This might be this might even be more, like a 9.8 if I'm lucky. And from my understanding, CGC started using the 100 grade again. So we'll see. But this is actually my last book. I want to end with this. So the girl that asked me what's my most expensive book. I don't know if this is my most expensive yet, but this is one of my most cherished. Because like I said, I've been carrying this around with me for 30 years at least, 20 some years at least. Cool. That will end my show for today. I'll do another one day. I'll probably add a couple more books. I have to go back. There's a pretty good comic book store here, so I'll go buy a couple. You know, but still, nothing will ever match what I already have. If you want to collect comic books, go ahead and start. Better late than never. You know, you have to start sometime. If you like books, if you do anything in life, you gotta start sometime. You everyone. Oh yes, thank you everyone. Thanks for coming. I'll try to do more. Thank you. Bye, Chai.